Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 25th of January, comes to you from London. And we can see quite a lot of green on the screen this morning, so that's just giving us a heads up that market's starting the week a bit better. This is my long-term weekly, my medium-term daily, and my short-term 60-minute chart with the corresponding point and figure charts and their targets. So we're looking at the dollar index here first of all. Seems to have found a floor. It's back to bearish on that short-term chart though, because we're below the cloud. We don't have any clear downside targets on the short-term chart, but the trend is still down. Looks like we might have found some support, but this is too early to call this a low early January. The euro is sitting at 121.50, holding its short-term bullish position. Again, we had this big move into the pattern, sideways consolidation. We're on the way out of the move out, but we've again got a little mini consolidation going on the daily chart. So it's a bit of a mixed picture, but at the moment the trend is bullish. Taking a look at sterling against the dollar, we're sitting at 136.70, just breaking down a little bit this morning, but the trend is still up on that medium and long-term chart. An upside target of 150 against the dollar. That's pretty hard to believe, but that's what the long-term position is. And we do have these targets to 139. That's looking like a likely target, although we've just seen a little bit of short-term bearishness there. Against the euro, sterling looking reasonably strong still at 112.42, holding that multi-month break. Just can't quite get above that 113 level. That's an important level based on the charts here. We've got targets to 113.87, 116 even. So we are seeing a little bit of resurgence. Of course, the long-term trend is still down. Taking a look now at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $33,000, recovering a little bit this morning, up 3%, but we have activated these downside targets. So that's what's key at the moment. We do have a new upside target on the 0.5% chart, but the downside targets are ruling. We are just seeing here, we are back to short-term bullish, so keep an eye on those shorter-term charts. The S&P 500 index closed down 0.3% on Friday. So we are still holding very much the uptrend on all three time frames, and the Nasdaq much the same position here. We're seeing that now the political uncertainty is removed in the US, we are just seeing steady markets. The Dow up 0.7%, and looking at the futures today, we're seeing the S&P future up 0.3% and the Nasdaq up up nearly 1%. So we're seeing tech stocks taking their cue from the new administration, looking stronger there. The VIX volatility is up 2%, but not enough to change the fact that we are bearish really on all three time frames. So the fear index is not a great worry. FTSE future is flat this morning. The DAX in Germany is also flat, and we are still holding that break to new highs. And if we look at the CAC Quarante, we see here we've sunk lower as well. So that's quite key. Looking at Japan, we are just holding the gains there. We're up 0.3%. The Hang Seng had a very strong rise there, up 2.4%. That trend really continues in Hong Kong. And if we look at the Shanghai index, holding the gains there, that break out of that long consolidation pattern still playing its hand. Looking at the Sensex in India, we were down 0.7%, but the trend is amazing here, still bullish on all three time frames, and the Aussie market was up 0.33%, not enough to break to new highs, but we have broken this little mini consolidation pattern, so looking quite a bit better after last week's moves on the Aussie. Of course, we will see the market close for Australia Day tomorrow, so that's quite key. Taking a look at Brent Crude now, we are at 0.6%, so look up this morning. We are range bound at the moment between this 54.50 and 56.75. Our call for the week on crude is sideways, so neutral. We'll take a look at the energy mix in more detail in a minute. Gold is just holding on to the gains there. We do have this upside target to 1994 if we can break higher and activate it, but for the moment we're just sitting in this range. And silver also similarly just holding on to its trend, so bullish still, but just cautious and no big changes there. Copper, little change here. We're just holding on to the trends. And if you look at US 10-year yields, we see here that we are just sinking lower at 108. So short-term downside pressure on 10-year yields with the new administration coming in the US. Taking a look at the energy mix now, we talked about Brent crude being in a range, same for WTI of course. US nat gas seems to have turned a corner. We were bearish last week, that paid off, the trend was down. We are now just seeing a turnaround. Just a little bit worrying on the daily chart there. Looking at RBOB, we're at 1%, and if we look at coal, in fact the coal contract we've moved to 2022, so looking there, we are just seeing downside targets, so we are actually just bearish coal this week. Emissions are looking stronger, breaking the trend here, good upside targets, so we think we look like we might break to new highs this week. MBP's been a slightly harder call, does seem to be coming off the bottom. TTF started off better this morning, but we are just seeing a bit of a pullback, but we are seeing moves higher there, and actually on seasonal gas we are seeing quite a clear break with good upside targets, so that's looking a little bit better. German power has started off the morning better, but it's just sinking away a little bit now. Will we make new highs? The fact that we've broken the cloud here is quite significant. That trend is really quite key there, that we've broken out there. We've got an upside target. Resistance at 52 euros, so that's what we have to watch. Taking a look at Nordic power, not so clear on the cow, but the quarterly contract is looking pretty clear for a break, looking better there. So that's it there. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.